All right, this week we are heading down to good friend Bruce King from Kentucky, but we're not hunting Kentucky, no. We're hunting big giant whitetails in Indiana. This is a hunt you don't want to miss.
Okay folks, here we are. It's November and we're ready to go to Southeast Indiana to my good buddy Ronald Knox's farm. Man, he does a phenomenal job on this place. He has the food plot done and he calls me every year and he's like, hey, your stand's ready, buddy, whenever you want to come up and get in it. So we're going to take an adventure from November through December. So as we know, 2020, man, what a train wreck of a year that was. So we had the pandemic going on and everything's just shut down. You can't travel. I've got a good friend that we've been buddies for years, and I go to his house in Indiana, stay with him, and hunt there on his place. And in the stand, less than 20 minutes, I have a nice young 8-pointer come in. He was off limits because we had already decided he was too young and he needed another year. I go about an hour after that, sitting in the stand, and I'm thinking, man, this is just going to be a phenomenal day. I can't believe this is happening. And I have a 9-pointer come in, pick up the phone, I start texting. Hey Ronald, I've got a 9-pointer here. Can I shoot him? And I'm trying to get a picture of him, and I'm waiting on a response. As I'm waiting for that response, the deer walks right out of my life.
Man, God is good. How is that for a first sit? A really nice young 8-pointer came in. Then we had a 9 come in. The 8-pointer left, he kept watching. And behind me, I never did hear him until he was like actually right here on the property. But that was awesome. I gotta gather everything up and get out of here. Now's my chance. I don't have any deer out in front of me.
I know I've got more time that I'm going to be spending. I'm up there for the week. My family has been gracious enough to say, hey, get out of our hair. My wife is like, you need to get away and just spend some time with some friends and deer hunt because we know that's what you love. We got deer camp here. Just a little spot for us to sleep here in my buddy's basement, Ronald Knox, and he's good to us. We can come up here and hunt, and he puts in all the work with the food plots every year, and it's an open invitation to come up here and hunt. So pretty cool. It's hard to leave your family. Everybody thinks this is just a blast for what we do when we go off and we go on these hunts. But you're thinking about what you're potentially missing sitting in a tree stand chasing whitetails. As we roll on through the week, we get midweek. It's a special day. It's November 5th. 5 years prior, I have a great friend who was killed in the line of duty. On that day, blue jays just swarm in, and they're all over the field. And it seems like it happens every year. And it just makes me think of my thin blue line family, my work family. It's such a special time to reflect back and think of how good of a man Daniel Ellis was.
Established in a small town in 1981, a company that produces quality products that archers have come to rely on. I started shooting with a Scott release and have passed the tradition on. My dad always told me, never forget where you came from. Well, I haven't. Shoot with confidence. Shoot a Scott.
All
featuring set technology. Elite bows are known for their extreme ease of use, smooth draw with solid back wall, comfortable grip and accuracy, while the legendary lifetime warranty with Hunt Guarantee extends ultimate confidence when it's needed most. Experience the world's most shootable bow by taking the Shootability Challenge and demo the 2021 Encore and Remedy at an elite retailer today.
We go on through November, and it's just not happening there in Indiana, so I decided to spend a little time closer to home and hunt there in Kentucky. And again, my deer have just vanished. I have no clue where they've gone, but I'm in that mode of I've got to get a deer, you know, and I've got to get out and have this tree stand time. I'm trying to, you know, grind it out and just make something happen. And, you know, it's all in God's timing. It's not our timing. We wish it would happen when we want it to happen. We don't have control over that. And it teaches you patience. You know, it's a lesson from God of it's my timing and not yours.
Okay, it's December 3rd here in southeast Indiana. And we just got in the stand. It's a little bit after 3. Some nice shooters have been coming in around 5 o'clock. So, but it should be a good night.
We have a deer in there. We called him Loppy. He's just jacked up on his left side. Right side's beautiful. He's an older deer. He's mature. He comes in a little sideways. I'm getting excited. I get the elite. I've got the camera running. I'm kind of following the deer, and I'm self-filming. And I look up. He's in frame, and he's taking steps, and I draw back. Just as I'm squeezing on that Scott release, I get him to stop. A miss. What happened was not being able to estimate yardage. So he just kind of trots off and he stays. I'm able to get another black eagle, knock it on the elite. He walks around. I'm guesstimating the yardage again. I said, well, I missed him at what I thought was 30. So he's got to be at 40. Right over his back. I'm deflated. I'm like, this is how my 2020 season is going to end. Just exactly how the year began with the pandemic and just everything going on. The world was in chaos. And I'm just distraught. How am I going to make this better? So I'm in the house. I'm reading the Bible that night. I read a verse, and it's talking about redemption and where our redemption comes from.
We are not just a sight company. We are Custom Bow Equipment, your premium accessory company. Precision sights, rests, quivers, and stabilizers. Custom gear for every archer. Available at your local dealer.
Let's be honest, we all need a dependable truck. And when you buy a car, you want to feel like you bought it off somebody that you can trust. And I've always felt that way, honestly, with all of my heart, coming here to Vanderveer Chevrolet.
Our trucks come with a warranty forever, car washes for life. So when you're out there in the mud and you get a little dirty, you can bring it on down, drive it through the car wash.
Leaving with a smile on your face, knowing you got that good deal, and knowing that if something happens, you have that peace of mind with that lifetime warranty. With what I do and who I am, my integrity, I want it to be respected at the highest level. And I know with the customers that I send here, they all call me and say, you sent us to the right place. And that's what Vanderveer Chevrolet is for us. This is the right place.
Hey, we'll be glad to help you out and treat you the same as we do Doug. We want to do the same for you.
I missed a giant last night, so let's see if we can't go get it done tonight. And I go out. It's probably my last weekend there. We're into December. Ronald says, "Hey dude, you kill anything that tickles your fancy when it comes in. I don't care if it's a young deer or what. Get up in the stand, beautiful morning, crisp, cool. Here comes this nice looking buck. He gets in the area, and at this point, I had my rangefinder, and I knew exactly where he was. He just got cured in Indiana. Oh my. I just shot a nice buck. It's not the biggest one that was in here, but I saw him go down. He didn't go 100 yards. It's such a whirlwind whenever you take one of these deer. Pull back, settle the pin with that CBE sight. Just squeeze the trigger. Oh. First person I called was my wife. The next is my brother Doug. Love him to pieces. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do what I do, and that's work with this ministry, you know, Created Outdoors. We love sharing our passion for chasing whitetails and turkey or anything else that we can legally kill with a bow and eat. But frosty morning in Indiana, December 6th, 27 degrees. This blocker outdoors. It's kept me warm. I think I hear the tractor, so the cavalry's coming. It's about time for the big buck celebration to begin. Man. Oh, I'm so happy. I can't even explain how I feel right now. All right, man, I love it. Thank you, brother. It's been a good day in Indiana. We got Bloody Arrow, lots of bubbles in it, and we already knew where he went, so we shortcutted a little bit. Let's go up here and see. It was such a grind of a season, just from starting in September in Kentucky and continually going out, just not seeing the deer that I was looking for. But God's teaching me a lesson the entire year. He's teaching me a lesson of patience. He's teaching me a lesson of it's in my time. Man, what a feeling when you're able to harvest that whitetail deer that God puts before you. And I've always said I want to take the small opportunities that God gives me and captivate on those and use those. But how many times as Christian men do we fail God when He puts that opportunity in front of us and we blow it off because we've got 30 other things on our mind? We need to take that time to plant that seed or to cultivate that moment that God's put before us. It's the small moments that are going to matter because He turns them into big moments, not us. He paid for all of our sins by dying on the cross. And for me, the redemption in just having a nice buck come in 2 days later on a frosty morning in southern Indiana at my buddy Ronald Knox's farm. Come on in here, Ronald. Man, I can't thank you enough.
You're very welcome.
For allowing me to hunt your property. You do a heck of a job managing deer. I know this isn't one that we really wanted to take out of here, but
Pretty deer.
you gave me the green.
Deer.
You gave me the green light on anything I wanted,
Yep.
and this guy right here tickled my fancy. Love you, brother.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
So we got it done this morning in Indiana. We've got this guy field dressed, and it's been bittersweet up here this season. I started in November, passed on 2 really nice bucks in November. We'll see it, and I started kicking myself the more times that I came up here. It's probably week number 6 for me up here as far as the weekends, and you know, just blessed to have a wife that allows me to pursue my passion, you know, in chasing these whitetails. But Thursday night I missed a phenomenal deer in that same food plot, and I was reading the Bible this weekend while I was up here, and the verse that I found that really hit the spot was about redemption, and it's Ephesians 1:7, and it says, "In whom we have redemption through His blood, the forgiveness of sins according to the riches of His grace." And by God's grace this morning, I mean, it's totally, we hear people say it all the time, it's the bottom of the ninth. It's the last day probably that we've got to hunt. And through His grace, He blessed me with this harvest this morning.
All right, Bruce, you know, I know over the years that you have struggled and you stayed persistent, and God certainly rewarded you with this deer encounter after encounter of big old giant bucks. And finally, December is your month where you get your payday. What an awesome week. God has certainly blessed you with this magnificent buck. You earned it, buddy. Hey, thanks for watching this week's episode of Created Outdoors. We hope to see you again next week. God bless.
Hey folks, here we are. We're in Eastern Kentucky. It's youth weekend. I kinda hate wearing orange whenever you're bow hunting, but it's the rules, so we gotta have it on. Had to do an impromptu thing. We had to run to the dollar store. I forgot every bit of it, so I bought the vest. Then I bought a t-shirt and cut the sleeves out so I could meet the requirement for the hat. We're gonna get the old Elite pulled up here. We checked the camera while we got up here. We had a deer in here an hour ago. We got a drizzling rain. Big front moving in from the storm that came in down south. We should kill a deer tonight. Stay tuned.